Welcome to Red Flags with Elissa.
Welcome back to Red Flags with Elissa. I'm your host, Zofia Morales, and we're diving into another exciting episode alongside our expert, Elissa Brewster. In episode 4, titled Travel Nursing Unlocked, Legal Insights for Success, we're exploring the world of travel nursing agencies, a dynamic and rapidly growing sector in healthcare. Elissa, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me again.
So, to start, can you explain how a nurse can legally own a nursing agency that provides travel nursing services? What are some of the key regs and requirements?
Sure. So that is a bit of a misnomer. A nurse does not specifically, it's not that an insurance company cannot employ a nurse. Okay. If they have like a helpline, right? Like some insurance companies now, I remember when I was pregnant, they'd be like, call this hotline and a nurse will be on call to be able to answer your questions. Okay. But the difference there is that that nurse is employed by ABC Insurance, right? All the big insurance companies. So that agency or that company is responsible for checking the qualifications of that nurse.
Sure.
Okay. So the nurse is not necessarily going to specifically contract with that insurance agency. What traditionally would happen, I think what's a more likely scenario would be to have the agency hiring a nurse, and that nurse is going to go into the hospital. Okay. The hospital is then going to make sure that that nurse has the proper qualifications, whatever that means for that state. And then whatever work that nurse is doing, if that work is billable under the contract that that facility has with the insurance company, then they'll be able to bill out that skilled nursing services. And then they're just paying that nurse, an hourly wage.
As like a travel nursing agency directly contracting with an insurance company, what do I need to be aware of when I'm setting up that contract with that insurance company to provide whatever it is, a home health service or services at the hospital, or what is it?
So I think the best way for me to answer that question is to say that a nursing agency that is hiring nurses to provide nursing services would not be directly contracting with an insurance company. If a home health agency, okay, wants to provide home health services for Medicare patients or for Blue Cross patients or whomever, then that home health agency would need to contract with the insurance company for an accepted rate for those home health services. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So, how do you help your clients who are interested in owning or who own these travel nursing agencies? How do you help them negotiate the complexities of working with physicians, for example? What are some of the specific rules that govern how you can collaborate like that?
I would say what is really most important, or what a lot of nurses, again, daughter of a nurse, what a lot of nurses are going to be very passionate about is patient care. And they want to make sure that their patients are being cared for properly, and they want to make sure that their patients are getting the best care. Okay. And so, in regards to compliance or regulations, those are going to be the same as if they were working for the hospital around the corner. The Board of Nursing, or if you're a nurse practitioner, all of those governing bodies and regulations, that stuff is not going to change. It's going to vary a little bit per state, right?
Right.
But nurses are allowed to travel and to move because, one, there's a nursing shortage, right?
Yes, there is.
We need more nurses. And so if we need more nurses, we need to make it easier to get that nursing care. So if there's a bunch of nurses in Mississippi and Texas needs some nurses, we need to be able to go to Mississippi and get those nurses. So I think in terms of compliance, that is going to be the same. Whatever that standard is for your state is going to be the standard. Different hospitals, different healthcare providers are going to have different regulations and different ways of doing things, right? Just like any company has a different way of doing things. Maybe every Thursday you got to write in purple pen, and that's just the way that we do it here. And so write in purple pen, and then the next hospital every Thursday is a green pen, right? And so as the nurse, you got to remember if it's a purple or a green pen that you got. I don't even know if people are writing notes anymore like that.
Yeah, no,
but
I think it's
they're
mostly
probably
on
not.
tablets, but
Yeah, they're probably not, but you get what I'm saying, right? I guess
absolutely.
I'm going to have to revisit that analogy. I don't think
Yeah,
that's
well,
that's not
everybody's going to
but
have their own SOP, right?
right,
Yeah.
right. It's not going to work anymore. But specifically with nursing, they are going to have their own relationships with that physician or with that group of physicians. If they feel that something is out of sorts, if that patient is not being given the proper care or they're concerned for their patient's safety, nurses typically are the first ones to sound the alarm.
Yeah.
And there are ways in which for them to do that, whether it be through that organization. And as you mentioned, that organization should have an SOP, or they can actually do grievances through the nursing board. So there's lots of ways to ensure, or for nurses to ensure, the continuity of care and to make sure that their patients are receiving quality care.
So, if I'm an agency owner, what are some of the important legal considerations when I'm hiring other nurses for a traveling nursing agency?
I would say one of the biggest things that an owner of an agency like this should take into account would be the liability, right? That's the clincher. That's the kicker, right? The liability. How much liability are you willing to assume for this other individual? And I think that goes beyond, are they really a nurse, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's assume a bottom line, a baseline, that they have their credentials, that they are the nurse, that they are who they say they are. But if mistakes happen, or if they didn't chart something correctly, or whatever, because we're all human and we do make mistakes. So if any of those things happen, there needs to be protocols in place, specifically with the agency in their contract with that nurse really needs to have a healthcare attorney thinking out what I like to call those zombie apocalypse
Scenarios, yes.
scenarios, right? The sky is falling, zombie apocalypse. That is where I dwell. That is where I live. But you need a contract, or you need documents that are going to take those things into consideration, because it's not a problem until it's a problem. So
Yeah, exactly. When you need the legal bomb shelter, it's got to already be built.
it already has to be there. You can't be trying to figure out, now where are we going to go and get the materials as the zombies are approaching
Your
and
cement's
trying to
not
eat
going to
us.
cure.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Exactly.
Not going to work.
So, travel nursing agencies, I know, frequently work across state lines. I mean, that's the whole point of them, right? So, how do the differing state laws impact an operation like that? And what steps can owners take to remain compliant across many jurisdictions?
I would say that one of the things that I would really encourage people to do is just to be aware, right? Like, if you're in Texas and you're a Texas nurse and you know Texas law as it relates to nursing, but you may not know it for Florida or Louisiana or Oklahoma or all the way in New York or all the way over in California, I would really suggest that you educate yourself. You can always find an attorney that would be happy to walk you through that process. But I would also encourage people to reach out to those state boards, just to make sure that there aren't any hidden booby traps, right?
Yeah.
That you're not aware of. And something else that I have found, especially when you're working with different jurisdictions, people are very helpful. Maybe it's me, I don't know, but people seem to be very helpful. If you are humble and say, "This is what I'm trying to do. Can you help me? What websites do I need to go to? What information do I need to have?" I have found, being humble and being gracious, that more likely than not, people are willing to help you. And so I would say that would be the best advice in that regard.
I like that. So talk to the local nursing board as a start
Yes.
and go from there.
Start there. definitely.
Absolutely. So we brushed up against liability earlier. What kind of protections should a travel nursing agency put into place to protect themselves, to build that zombie apocalypse bunker?
Right. Oh, I like that. I'm going to start using that. Zombie apocalypse bunker. I'm totally taking that from
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I would say one of the biggest things would probably be malpractice insurance that nurse would probably need to carry. The company is also going to need to carry some type of umbrella policy and insurance. I am not an insurance broker. I am not licensed to sell insurance, but there are lots of people who are, and they can really direct you in that regard. One of the best places to start would be whoever does that malpractice insurance. They're either going to be able to offer other types of coverage or other umbrellas of coverage to cover all those, unforeseen circumstances, or they're going to be able to direct you on how best to do that.
So, finally, for those who are interested in starting a travel nursing agency, what are the top 3 steps they need to take legally before they launch their business to ensure their success and to minimize the risk?
Oh, that's a great question. So now I'm going to get on my soapbox because this is something I'm very, very passionate about. Please have an attorney form your company, right? There's all these do it yourself things out there. And I will tell you, unless you've done a bunch of them, and I do have clients that are savvy like that, if you've done a bunch of them, then fine. I'll let you do this one too. But if you haven't and you don't do it correctly, then typically you're going to have to now pay an attorney in which to do it, to fix your mistakes. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, operating agreement. I cannot stress this enough. The operating agreement is the blueprint of how your company is going to function. Even if I own it by myself, I would still suggest a single manager or a single member operating agreement, just because it's really going to define what my role would be in that organization. Now, if you got more than 2 people, if you got more than one person, you have 2, you got 3, all of y'all went to nursing school and this has been your dream, please, 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 please have an operating agreement. Because what is eventually going to happen is if someone wants to exit the group, or someone isn't doing what they need to be doing, or someone is embezzling, or there's so many variations, and the operating agreement is where we're going to go back and say, so and so was in breach. Okay. Yeah. So the first thing, form your LLC correctly. Please get an attorney to do it. Second thing, operating agreement, operating agreement, operating agreement. Okay. Third thing that I would say is really important are the foundational contracts for your company, because contracting is the foundation of any small business. Again, it is not a problem until it's a problem. So if you have written a contract on a piece of paper and the two of you or whomever are great, 50 years, this little sticky note has been, working its magic, then it's not an issue. It's only an issue when it's an issue. And if you do
when the
not
partner dies or divorces or
right, or they're just not doing what they need to be doing.
Exactly.
Right? They showing up every week, not doing anything, and still want the coffee and donuts. No, that's not how this works, right? Sometimes it's your turn to bring the donuts, right? Why do I always got to bring the donut? And it literally is small things like that, right?
Yeah,
that will
that break the back. Exactly.
Yes, that will break up the dynamic. And so if you have those agreements, whether it is with vendors, whether it is with other clinics, whoever you want to contract with, it is really important that those fundamental agreements are sound. One other really quick caveat that I want to make is that sometimes people are just really excited to be invited to the party, but not all parties. There's stuff going on in the back room that you don't want to participate in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are super excited that the big, 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 big hospital wants to contract with your little nursing agency, and granted, that is something to be excited about, please have an attorney look at that, because you could be getting shafted and it could be so lopsided and you're just going to kind of be blind to it because the quarterback asked you to the prom, right? And you're super excited. You're just happy to, oh, they like me, they invited me. And there's a reason that, that maybe they do want to advance an opportunity to a smaller business. But there's always leverage. There's always something, even if it's a big company, there's always something that can be negotiated. And a lot of people just think, well, it's the big hospital, I just got to sign. No, you don't. No, you do not.
No, you always have an opportunity to
always have
leverage
an
that
opportunity.
until you put your signature on the line, then you're married.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
but we could probably help you get out.
We do business divorce as well.
Yes, I do corporate divorce. I'm very well versed in a corporate divorce. So.
Excellent. That's all amazing advice. And I have to say, as someone who has inked many times on her own, I would not ink my own nursing. I would go to you. This has been really informative, Elissa. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you out there who joined us today for Red Flags with Elissa Brewster. You can find her www.brewsterlawtx.com. Please like, subscribe, and leave a review. And until next time, go get them.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.